Warning, this podcast was produced by two men who still think that swearing is both big and clever. As a result, it contains quite a lot of it. Therefore, this podcast is not suitable for children, unless they're really fucking cool children.
Hello everyone, Christopher Greer here, welcoming you to another edition of Pop, Collaborate and Listen. I hope you've enjoyed the past couple of weeks where we did a couple of pretty self-indulgent bonus episodes, it must be said. We took a look at two of our favourite albums from 1991 in the shape of Primus and Smashing Pumpkins. And we got some really nice feedback actually off those as well. It does seem that other people listening to this show have soft spots for those as well, so that's really nice to know. I'm glad you enjoyed kind of our take on it, a little bit of a refresher of your memory about those albums. But we are resuming our normal programming. This week we are listening to Seal's debut album, a self-titled debut album, which was out at the end of May, started June in 1991. Neither of us had actually heard the full album before, to be honest. We knew the singles and stuff like that, but this was brand new to us. We went in hoping there were definitely going to be some songs on here that would be a nice surprise. So you'll have to listen and see what transpired. Dave is still off in America at the minute, which is why I'm doing the intro this week. He will be back as normal from next week, I'm sure. But in the meantime, have a listen to this week's episode. Let us know what you think. Get in contact, all the social media stuff. If you've got friends who you think would enjoy this podcast, please do tell them as well. We're always trying to expand the reach and get some good word of mouth going. But that'll do for me. Let's get into the podcast. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, people, welcome to another episode of Pop, Collaborate and Listen. My name is Dave Fensom.
I'm Christopher Greer.
We are here to talk about, as always, the number one albums of the 90s. We're in 1991, season 2. This is episode 10.
10, mate.
10, mate. It's crazy, right?
Madness.
It's not madness.
It's not madness. It's not madness. That's true.
For that. Can I play with madness?
No, you may not.
Be a weird bill, wouldn't it? Anyway,
Kanye play with madness.
Kanye plays with madness. I mean, he fucking does.
He loses most of the time.
He's lost that battle many years ago. So today we are talking about
Seal and his debut album.
And what's that called?
It's called Seal.
So it's Seal.
It's Seal, yeah. And his second album was also called Seal.
Seal.
Yeah. But this is the first one. This is 1991, his very first outing into album release.
Okay, fair enough. So this is coming off the back of the big single Killer, where he was the feature with the Adamski.
Well, yeah, exactly. So 1990 was the release of the Adamski collaboration version of Killer, which was big. It was number one, a really big tune. To be honest, that was kind of Adamski's peak. He tailed off badly after that, but Seal then started to release his own stuff. And so in November of 1990, he released the first single of this album. But this album itself is out. It was number one for 3 weeks, so I did actually pretty decent. 3 weeks of this. And it was from the 26th of May to the 21st of June.
Okay.
Which, eagle eye viewers may spot is 4 week period, but the Eurythmics went back up to number one for 1 week.
Aha.
So it's 3 weeks, whereas number one over a 4 week period.
Cool.
So yeah, we're into May and June of 1991, fucking eventually. After the amount of ridiculous 1 week number ones we've done. So this was it. He's had a couple of singles, and then this is his big Here I Am. This is me. This is Seal.
Sure.
Yeah. It debuted at number one and straight in. It went on to win Best British Album at the 1992 Brit Awards.
Did it now?
Mate, right, here's some stats for you, okay? The Brit Awards 92. He was nominated in 4 categories, and he won in all 4. Well, not him necessarily, but it won British Album of the Year won over Blue Lines, right? Nominated.
Okay.
It won Best British Producer of the Year for Trevor Horn. Mm-hmm. It won the Best British Video of the Year for his version of Killer.
Right.
Was single. and it won British Male Solo Artist for himself. And so he dominated that year, apparently. I don't remember that happening, but
I remember him being really big.
Apparently so.
Yeah, well, we'll discuss that.
Well, the thing is as well,
podcast.
right? If yes, it won a load of Brits, but in the category of British Single of the Year, he wasn't nominated in that one.
Right.
But in British Single of the Year, the nominations were Queen, These Are the Days of Our Lives, which eventually won.
Yeah.
Not even the best single off that album, but it won. Iron Maiden's Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter was nominated for British Single of the Year.
I mean, that's not even a good Iron Maiden
Exactly.
song.
Weird. Jason Donovan's Any Dream Will Do.
Fuck me.
Which is a cover version. I don't understand. The KLF's 3am Eternal. Fine. Vic Reeves and the Wonder Stuff, Dizzy. Novelty song.
Yeah.
And I remind you, best British Single of the Year, this is the category.
Right.
If I told you what's the worst song we've heard in recent times, you're going to say The Stunk.
Oh my fucking god.
Hale and Pace, The Stunk was nominated for Best British Album.
What the I mean, why does anyone give a shit about any of this bollocks?
Just the inclusion, the sniff of that makes you go, oh well, this isn't all bollocks.
Mate, this is like it was. They just put the names on bits of steak and let a spaniel pick it.
That's crazy fucking shit, that is. But yeah, so anyway, he won a load of Brits. It was a massive album for him in terms of getting recognition, and it was a massive album for him in terms of sales as well. It broke him in the States. It got him a load of press and stuff over there, and it really, it's 3.5 million copies this sold worldwide.
Yeah.
So big stuff, and he's now apparently doing judge on The Voice in Australia and this sort of nonsense.
Okay.
So he's a TV personality now. But he had huge success after this in music as well. He was everywhere for a while.
Yeah. I mean, he was a big recording artist for a long while.
He was, and very respected.
Kind of still is, I guess.
Maybe.
He's that kind of guy that brings out a new record and he probably still sells a lot of units because all of his fans have got CD players.
Yeah, true. And well, I bet you he does things like an unplugged version of his greatest hits and a live version with some people who are big in the States, that sort of stuff. Yeah, I reckon that's it. The only thing I noticed, just in terms of, because this is produced by Trevor Horn, like I said. Trevor Horn was in Art of Noise. He was in the Buggles.
Yeah.
He ran the ZTT record label, which this is released on. And so he was a big influence and a big name in the 80s, and he produced this, and he produced it within an inch of his life. They had to release 2 versions of this album because they needed a version that they could release post-second single, and he wasn't happy with it yet, so he kept recording and producing,
right?
And then they released that version afterwards. But so he couldn't let it go. It was one of those ones. He's this kind of tinkery
we'll get to that.
Yeah, but because he just kept doing it, there is a huge list of session musicians playing on this, like massive. And some of the ones that I kind of spotted on here, there's a guy called Bruce Woolley on guitars who co-wrote Video Killed the Radio Star with the Buggles. Yeah. And he also wrote Slave to the Rhythm for Grace Jones, but he also then wrote Mirror Mirror for Dollar, so he loses any sort of credentials that he did have. But weirdly, the other one that he wrote much later on was a huge, ever-growing, pulsating brain that rules from the centre of the ultra-world with the orb.
Wicked.
This ambient piece of music.
I can hear that he'd be doing some ambient stuff.
Okay, well,
things on this
Bruce Woolley, one of the guitarists on there was doing that. Anne Dudley is on string arrangement, who was also from the Art of Noise, and she co-wrote Buffalo Gals with Malcolm McLaren. There's a guy called Guy Sigsworth who co-wrote 4 of the songs. He's one of the main co-writers on this, and he's worked with a fucking ton of people, including like kind of Bjork and Bomb the Bass, cool 90s people. There's a guy called Doug Wimbish on bass guitar who was in Living Colour.
Yeah, I know Doug Wimbish.
Right, and he was also in Tackhead. And then one of the backing vocalists is Maria Vidal, who did Body Rock in the 80s, which is a fucking brilliant song.
Nice.
Yeah, so she's BVs at some point. And so it's a load of people, but it wasn't like this is the band, because there's 4 different guitarists and 6 different drummers across it. So it's not like he had a band. There were just a ton of session musicians coming through.
It feels like a label has put a lot of money into this.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely, definitely. He really believed. Trevor Horn, as the head honcho of the label and the producer of the album, put all of his effort into making this a big one, yeah.
All right, well, let's have a look at the album cover.
Indeed.
Let's start it off as we always do.
And I'm now holding in my hand a tape copy of this album, which I bought off Discogs for £1.
Is it still in the cellophane?
No.
Oh, you've broken the seal then.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I should have seen that coming, frankly.
You really fucking
should have seen. Okay, so the cover is a white background.
Yep.
The word seal in black, big letters across it.
Yep.
But the A is Seal himself standing, legs akimbo,
Yep.
hands on hips.
Like dressed as if he's in one of the Matrix sequels.
Yes, absolutely. A big leather coat, tight black top, huge boots.
I mean, it's a look, isn't it? It definitely is a look.
It is a look, and I mean, that's taken from the video for Crazy.
Yeah.
That's what that video look was, and that's where he was dressed as that.
Yeah.
So it's that style.
I mean, I think it's a really good cover, actually.
Yeah?
I think it's really bold and distinctive. It's,
Okay.
You know, I think it's it gets the job done.
It does. I suppose we're looking at it on a tape, which is tiny and not
I've
the
got
way.
a CD out there somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I also got a CD in a charity shop somewhere. And I can imagine, especially on an actual vinyl cover, that's going to be an imposing image. On a tape, it's a little bit diluted.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I get it. It's very simple, very straightforward. But like you say, it gets the job done. It's what it is. It's just Seal. That's it. Totally white background. Nothing else going on. Blank canvas. Him on front.
Yeah, it's good.
It's fine. It's
nice
fine.
Use of contrast.
Oh, it's quite.
Anyway, right. So the first track is called.
First track is called The Beginning, funnily enough. So, yeah, track one. Let's start this. Oh.
Like Dance, you say?
Yes.
I don't like this.
Yeah, this is kind of bland, generic 90s dance.
Yeah, like
Nothing distinctive about this.
Like kind of big synth waves coming in.
Yeah.
Dancey beat.
Yeah, as an opener, I'm not feeling this. Maybe at the time it was more of a this is what you do, but I'm not feeling this at all.
No, like, that's a great voice, but this is.
I don't like what he's doing with his voice. No.
I'm not really sure what it is, what the song is. Production-wise,
Yep.
there's a lot going on.
Sure.
I mean, there is
Sure.
too much going on in the production.
Right.
And so this, it's all a bit of a cacophony for me, this. Yeah. I say I don't know what it is. I feel like the song doesn't know what it is or what it wants to be.
True. Okay, I see that. It is a bit of let's throw everything that's going on at the minute into it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real hook to it.
No, there's no tune. And from what I knew of Seal before,
Yep.
you know, the singles realistically, I think okay, well, he writes catchy songs.
Yeah.
And that's what I would
With
know
a
him
big
for.
strident presentation.
Yeah.
And this, you know, I mean, there's no denying Seal's got a good voice.
Sure. Yeah.
But there's not enough space in this song to showcase it.
No, well, I don't like what he's doing with his vocals on this one.
I don't.
It's all over the place. He's up and down, and he's not singing a vocal line. I don't think
It's like a demo rather than a song.
Yeah,
You know? It's like he's trying to showcase what he can do. But
Yeah, okay.
But service a song first.
it's not catchy in the way that Killer was catchy, and that's your first thing. You go, fuck it out. Okay, it's got a hook to it. This is not. This is an anonymous and bland to me.
Exactly.
Yeah. I get maybe that they wanted to open with a dancier track, maybe because they were going off the memories that people had of Killer. I don't know, that they're trying to get in with the house scene there, whatever. But I think this is a strange one to open that with.
I just think this is an abjectly bad song.
Oh, I do too. Yeah.
And then what's going on with the key change at the end? Wait, check out the key change. Let's
see if we
have
get
a
to that.
little bit of that.
Yeah, so we're halfway through the song at this point, and we're only halfway through as well. This goes on for 5 minutes 40 seconds.
It is too long, man.
Self-indulgent. Oh,
What?
and yeah. Out of nowhere,
Yeah.
he's doing that.
And here we go.
Yeah, so everything else dropped out. And then
Oh
back
my god,
and then back to where it was.
that's so horrible.
Don't get it.
It's just so horrible.
Yeah, but this is shite.
Yeah, yeah.
The song annoyed me greatly.
Yeah, I did not enjoy this at all.
No. I had, going into this, I'd never heard the album before, right? Only knew the singles. But I knew them quite well.
Yeah.
I remember them at the time. I bought Crazy on 7-inch when it was out.
Okay.
I thought, okay, let's see what's happening with this.
Yeah.
I'm initially off to a bad start here.
Very much exactly where I'm at.
All right. All right.
Track number 2.
Right, track 2 is Deep Water.
Okay, so we're in more simple acoustic territory here.
Yeah, it's gone a bit serious. Acoustic guitar, some bongo drums in the background.
Jazz.
Nice.
Jazz.
I tell you what, this is apropos of nothing. I was looking for just a JPEG or a meme of your man from Fast Show's Jazz Club and just the word shite underneath it. It's not on the internet. I had to make one.
Fucking how bizarre.
Yeah.
Acapulco.
Shite. Exactly. Anyway, sorry. Fucking seal underneath us here.
And you've got a seal underneath. Look, this is lyrically very busy. There's a lot of words. There's a lot of going on. It doesn't scan that great, I don't think.
No, yeah, you're right. He's cramming a lot in. And
that's what I mean. It's the phrase.
And it is a bit preachy.
Its chorus is quite nice.
Yeah, with layered vocals.
Yeah, I quite like that. It's got that little kind of country inflection.
Okay.
It's not. It's a little bit insipid, but it's inoffensive.
Let's skip to I think it's about 3 minutes in, where it goes from what it had been doing into almost a different song.
Yeah, so it's got all these electronic elements kind of come in. You've got this like kind of breakbeat skipping around.
Yeah.
Not really a break, but you know what I
But
mean.
yeah, but it's a totally different thing to what it'd be. Because literally 3 minutes in it does this.
Yeah.
And this is another 6-minute song.
Yeah, and it's like, I put it does this and then the strings arrangements come in as well, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
And I put, look, this stuff's nice, but it should have arrived earlier.
Oh, okay.
That's what I put. I mean, look, this song is much too long.
Yeah.
It could have benefited from some fairly savage editing and, you know, a helicopter crash. Dropping bombs.
Did wonder for Noel Edmonds' career.
Fucking hell, mate, yeah. Fucking, anyway.
Right, but yeah, again, it's going nowhere at this point, and there's still 2 minutes left.
Yeah, it's gone nowhere. You know, there are more things to be as even-handed as I can be. There are more things in this song that I like than in the first song.
Yes.
It's a better song than the first one.
Yes.
But it is still only.
Well, yeah, the Murs murderers weren't as bad as Harold Shipman.
Yeah, weren't they?
Well, they killed fewer people.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, all right, but I'm not going down that road with you. Fucking hell. But basically, this is now a collection of some workable ideas that have not been put together to create a good song.
Okay. Right, okay. I think I dislike this more than you because I don't think there are any good ideas in here.
Oh, I think that chorus bit sounds nice enough. That little melody on the chorus, the string organisation. I think those things would work well in a different fucking song.
Right, if you did something else.
Yeah, I think if you had a different verse and you had some of that instrumentation coming in earlier.
Yeah.
I think you've got a different song. But I think there are bits of that song that are, proficient.
Okay.
But just as a composition, doesn't work at all.
No, I was very bored by the end of it.
Yeah.
And I think probably because it took 3 minutes to get to that different point, I was already just going, what's happening now?
Does Trevor Horn take a lot of coke?
He was in bands in the 80s. He must have done.
Because, I mean, like, the two songs that don't do anything with 12 minutes, that's got cocaine written all over it as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, but he won a lot of fucking awards.
Oh, he did.
Beat the stonk.
It's the highest accolade you can
Exactly. Fucking stonk. Right.
Better than the stonk.
Anyway,
Fuck's
right.
sake.
Well, okay. Let's move on from that.
Okay, yeah. All right. So track 3 is Crazy,
Crazy.
which was the first single It was released in November of 1990.
Cool.
And I absolutely remember this from the
Oh,
time.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, this is still played regularly on the radio.
I'm sure it is, actually, yes, true.
There's a nice little build-up, kind of big, that kind of orchestral crash sample.
Yeah, this is a good sign of a song, yeah.
Kind of sounds like William Orbit before William Orbit,
Oh,
doesn't it?
yeah, true enough.
You know, like this tune itself, this could sit on Madonna's music album.
It absolutely could.
No, fucking
Ray of Light.
Yeah, like, so you got this kind of rock shuffle and break. You got a break kind of coming in. The vocal's super up front. It's a nice solo vocal.
Yeah.
It's got these electric swells that go through it.
Yeah.
You know, they just got everything right on this song.
I agree. I think this is actually a very, very good song.
Yeah, you got that sparse guitar with a bit of wire as well. It's just a really well put together. It's a great pop hit, and it's obviously what sold this record.
Totally. Yeah, this was the one that got him noticed as an artist, not just the collaborator with Seal or with Adamski. And this is a terrific single, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a kind of a questionable line about yellow people in there.
I've got a note about this. I mean, because, right, the song itself, the chorus is, we're never going to survive unless we get a little crazy, meaning the human race needs to break free of some of its rules and, you know, do different things in order to get better, right?
Well, I mean, that's what he's saying, but there's a few kind of druggy references in here.
There's a lot of drug stuff.
I feel like what he's saying is, unless we get people, I think what he's saying here is, if more people took ecstasy, the world would be better.
Yes, okay, it's definitely that's a sentiment that's underlying it. Mm-hmm. But there's bits in it about stuff about Gorbachev, about Tiananmen Square and the Berlin Wall. But in the Tiananmen Square bit, the line is, crazy yellow people walking through my head.
Yeah.
One of them's got a gun to shoot the other one. Can you say that?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure if you can.
I don't think that's all right.
I'm not sure. Not even in 1991.
Yeah, unless they're minions.
Oh, it's okay, sure. Or jaundiced people.
Yeah, or Mr. Chips from Catchphrase and his mate, Mr. Also Chips.
Oh, yeah, Mrs. Chips, probably. Or the Simpsons.
I prefer Mr. Also Chips.
Yeah, no, I noticed that line kind of stood out to me when I was reading through.
Yeah,
I was like, ooh, that's an interesting choice you've just done there, Mr. Seal.
But, you know, the drums around the breakdown, they're really
nice.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, again, right, so the drum beat that comes in is at just about halfway through. I'll find this. That is a big old beat. Yeah. And I found out just, it's like, I wonder if that is like a known drum beat. And it is. It is Led Zeppelin's The Crunge.
Oh, yeah, of course it is.
Which, well, I would not have spotted that at all. The thing is, whenever I listen to The Crunge, I was going, I know that from De La Soul's Magic Number, because they kind of chopped it up a little bit. Because it sounds like this. So yeah, that's a chopped up version again of that, but it's fucking brilliant. That they really amped it up and put it into that section.
That's brilliant.
It's a wicked breakdown. Yeah, really enjoyed that bit of it. Definitely. I think the overall sound of it works really well. It's not too housey. It's not like that cheesy house.
Yeah.
But it's got dance elements all the way through it. But it's his soulful vocal as well. So it's a proper song. It's not just someone singing over a dance beat.
Yeah.
This works really well, I think.
Exactly. I mean, it feels like a rock song with dance elements.
Okay.
In a lot of ways.
I can see that.
You know, pop rock song.
Right. Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of the vocal is almost pop rock, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah. It goes along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
This was it still is his biggest solo hit in the UK.
Bigger than Kiss from a Rose?
In the UK it is, yeah. I mean, that was huge in the States.
That's a travesty.
Oh, I see, I never liked Kiss from a Rose.
Go fuck
Mate,
yourself.
we're going to get to that, because we've got to do Seal 2.
Well,
but,
if it's got Kiss from a Rose on it, it can't be all bad.
I see. No, I never got into that tune. But this it won him an Ivor Novello Award for songwriting as well, this single.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I mean, I don't begrudge anything that this song gets. This is great, and this is kind of what I was hoping for.
Well, indeed, this is the high point so far. Obviously, this is exactly what I'm after. Also, like you say, this still gets played on radio. This is an enduring song.
Yeah.
This has been covered by quite a few people, including Mushroom Head.
Oh, God.
I know. Yeah, you can imagine what it sounds like. I'm not going to play it.
Only the band that Slipknot could have been.
It's covered by Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. And again, you can imagine exactly how that sounds.
Covered everything, haven't they?
Oh, that's their entire career was releasing albums of funny covers. But the other one, let's see if you can spot who this one is.
It's real Rammstein.
Man decides after 70 years is what he goes there for, is to unlock the door.
It was recorded for a Gap commercial, apparently, but then released as a single.
Who is it?
Alanis Morissette.
Is it Alanis Morissette?
Yeah. Yeah, indeed.
I was thinking it was Pink for a second.
Oh, okay.
I see you, my friend, and touch your face again.
Funny.
This is terrible.
I think it's a strange one. Apparently, another reason she recorded it. Just let this get into the core. The thing is, you can't fuck with a tune. It's still a good tune. Yeah, apparently another reason that she recorded it was because one of the criticisms was always labelled at her was she was a bit crazy. You know, she's a bit of a crazy woman.
Right.
So she was kind of taking it on. I was like, well, fuck yous all.
Oh, well.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, so yeah, I like that tune. That's easily the best. I had that on 7-inch. I looked for it last night in case I could bring it for a photo op, and I seem to have got rid of it at some point.
Photo op.
I know.
No,
Us holding.
Got rid of crazy.
I know.
I don't
was
going to
mate,
survive unless you get a little back.
You should see some of the shit because I've got obviously.
I've seen the shit.
But I've got a section of my 7-inch singles that is 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've got some hip hop 7-inches which are in my hip hop section, but I've got a section that's just 90s.
Warning, it's about to become very nerdy in here.
And I've got some fucking rubbish in there.
I know.
And for me to have got rid of that, I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I just literally picked a handful out and went, there you go.
Gave them to the poor.
I need some space, yeah. But it's gone, mate. Gone. Never mind.
Oh, fucking
I'll live.
It's all right. You'll buy it again.
I've got a fucking tape copy of the album. I don't need that.
Oh, mate, do you ever think about if the records in your house had to pay you rent, how rich would you be?
Jesus Christ. Yeah. The ones that I will never play again, if I had to pay me money, I'd be a millionaire.
I mean, you're at the point of needing a bigger house for your records.
I honestly am.
Oh, yeah.
That is the one reason I would move house.
So you got room for your records?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that happening.
Right, there you go. But that's 3 songs in. 1 for 3.
Yeah, 1 for 3.
One for 3 on that.
One strongly for
Definitely.
3.
Definitely. A big one for 3.
So, okay, well, let's do the singles.
Nope.
Fuck me. I actually knew that as well. Let's do the albums.
Let's do the albums of this
All
week.
right, let's do the albums.
Okay, so again, so this was number 1 for 3 weeks. I have picked kind of the week in the middle of that. So the week we're looking at is June the 2nd to the 8th. And we'll see what we got going on in here. Number 10 is Soft Cell and Mark Almond Memorabilia, so it's a best of. Number 9 is KLF's White Room. 8, Roxette Joyride. 7, new entry, Michael Bolton, Time, Love and Tenderness.
I'm not sure I remember this one.
Couldn't tell you, mate. Not a clue. Because obviously it's not the one that has...
Tell me how am I supposed to live without you? Just is that good?
That was amazing.
Was it
also
really good?
terrifying.
Yeah.
So it's not that one, but I don't know what was on that. I don't care to find out. Number 6 is another new entry for us, Beverly Craven, self-titled. Number 5...
Thank God that wasn't number 1.
It wasn't. No, we're safe on that. It hung around for a long time.
I'm
though.
sure Beverly Craven is a lovely lady, but but it's that kind of bland music that I do.
No. Number 5, R.E.M's Out of Time. Number 4, Eurythmics' Greatest Hits. Number 3, a new entry, and this is as high as this one got, Wonder Stuff, Never Loved Elvis.
Okay.
So this was their big breakthrough album. And it is the one, we spoke last week about the single Size of a Cow. That was the one off this album, which broke them into the charts and got them a lot of attention.
Cool.
So, I was never a Wonder Stuff fan, so I'm not the right person to comment on this sort of thing. But as far as I know, it's a good album. It just was never for me.
I've heard some Wonder stuff. It's
Okay, I think they're another great singles band, and you know, every single one that I would have to play at the indie clubs I used to DJ at, they were always good fun.
Uh-huh.
You know, there were probably 10 singles you could choose from to play whatever. You could judge what was going to work, but they're all good tracks. I just don't know if I need a Wonder Stuff album in my life.
I don't, definitely.
Yeah. And then number 2 is Electronic, which we discussed a little bit last week.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
You had it. You
I
didn't
had
like
it on tape, didn't like it.
And the thing is, as well, that does say a lot, because back in those days, you had so few actual new albums, you could pretty much convince yourself to like any old shit.
Well, fuck it. Right, then, in terms of other albums that were released in the kind of 4-week period that this was number 1 or number 2 for, we've got The Wedding Present with Sea Monsters, which peaked at number 13, which I'm very surprised at, I'll admit. I thought The Wedding Present were much more underground and less well known at this point. But apparently, number 13 they got to. Skid Row's Slave to the Grind.
That's a fucking brilliant record.
Is it? Never heard the album.
Yeah, mate. I mean, you heard the singles.
Of course.
I mean, Slave to the Grind itself is a great.
It's all right.
Come on, that's not all right. That's a brilliant record. That's an excellent heavy metal record.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a brilliant heavy metal record. It's dumb as a box of fucking hammers, right?
Sure.
If you listen to me ranting about heavy metal being like, kind of looked down upon, I mean, it's albums
That's
like
why.
that that's the reason. But
Right.
okay, it's kind of one of the last great heavy metal records of that era.
Okay.
And it's a good signal caller actually for our stuff, because obviously Skid Row are very much lumped in with that cock rock
Definitely.
genre.
Yeah.
And I don't, they were heavier than that.
Right.
They were, there was a
They
lot
were
of
on
reasons.
the far side of that.
Well, there were the people that took Pantera out, and they toured with
Oh, I
Pantera,
see,
and
okay.
most of those guys, they had that big Judas Priest influence in Skid Row.
All right.
Skid Row were a great band.
Okay. Fair play. I was absolutely unaware of them at the time.
Oh, yeah,
Not a fucking clue.
For the stuff you were into as well, that stuff would have been so
it was
uncool,
anathema
wouldn't
to
it?
me, yeah, sure.
I was going to say anathema, you cunt.
Oh.
You use my big words.
Damn it. Typo Negatives, Slow, Deep and Hard was out.
Oh, I love Typo.
I've no interest in Typo Negatives.
Typo is... Typo have got some banging tunes, but they've also got the darkest sense of humour.
Yeah, I give them that.
When that cover of Summer Breeze that they did. You know the original, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Ridiculous. Oh, mate, I love a good comedy cover. But,
But no, they do it completely straight up.
Oh, totally, but it's still funny.
Yeah, they were aware it was...
Yeah.
All you need to know about Typo Negative, right, is their drummer was kicked out of a band for being too miserable. Right? Guess which band?
Go on.
Life of Agony. Imagine being too miserable for a band called Life of Agony.
Fucking wicked.
How's life? Oh, I'm in agonising pain. But you know what's made it even worse? This guy's really down. Can you imagine?
That's fantastic. That's a real achievement.
You basically your first album is a concept album about a suicide, right? But your drummer's bumming you out to the point where you have to ask him to go.
Fair play. And so the other big album that was released in this time period is, and it depends how we're going to say this one, NWA.
Well, I tell you how we're not going to fucking say it. FL4's Again is what we're going to call it.
Okay.
So yeah, the second NWA
Yes,
record
and it peaked at 25 in this time period.
came out and was immediately banned for pornographic lyrics.
Was that what it was for?
It was the...
I see. Was it part of the whole PMRC?
Hang on, wait. Was it? Hang on a minute. No, I mean, Death Certificate, that was one of the reasons they pulled Death Certificate, because there was that fucking really horrible bit in that.
The nappy dugout bit.
Hang on, wait. Hang on a minute. Look up It's the Preacher's Daughter. Giving up the nappy dugout. Yeah, that's fucking horrible.
Yeah. Sure. So that's the controversy on that one.
And there was also the anti-Semitism stuff from
indeed.
No Vaseline.
Yeah. But what the NWA one? I mean, I would have.
I thought it was an underage sex thing in this one as well. I swear there's some reference to underage sex in it that got it pulled.
Oh, there is. There's something about doing some girl in a car, and she's like, Yeah, like she's only 13 or something.
It's
like
only
that.
13 and a half, but a bit that's got like a Specialized Pro.
That's
That's oh no, that is Dre. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the bit I was thinking was in Nappy Dugout.
Oh, I see. Right. Oh no, that's in.
Oh god,
one of the.
I swear to God, do you ever have this situation? Because I've listened to all this old hip hop so much, right? That like it's kind of normal. Obviously, right? Because I'm a fucking adult and a human being with empathy and an ability to separate the two things.
Yeah.
Right? I can listen to someone say something and not believe it.
Yeah, sure.
Right? It's
Yeah.
crazy. I know.
I know, mental.
Right? But like that stuff is so ingrained that like if somebody else is in your car and you suddenly hear it through their ears,
Oh, yeah.
you're like, oh, none of this is okay.
Oh, it's absolutely. If it comes on shuffle with someone else in the vicinity, you're like, oh no.
None of this. What the worst one for that though was it was I think you gave me it actually. Who was it? Did that fucking mix of just all of the nastiest sex jams from around this time period? It was called Ignorant.
Oh shit. Oh, who was that?
That fucking dookie shoot. Gotta
can't
stick
remember.
my dick in your dookie shoot.
Yeah, I can't remember who that was.
I can't. I think I had that on in my fucking.
I think
car.
maybe our friend Harry found that.
J Zone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I have a feeling that was our very very nice friend Harry who found that.
Yeah, I mean, it had like the warning from the start of the Ice-T track, J-Zone, Eazy-E, Poison Clan, The Dogs, and like fucking 3 Master P tracks. It was like everyone
You
who
knew what
was
you're getting
doing
there.
the the kind of there's tracks on here. I Need Some Pussy, Bust the Nut, Gorilla Pimp, Suck That Dick. Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
yeah, that's not stuff you can have on in your car.
No.
I mean, I'm not sure we can have this conversation in our podcast now. Say it all out loud.
Well, and like you say, the NWA album, it got banned after a week. It was deleted, basically, wasn't it? As soon as, in the UK, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, my auntie Irene went into town and bought me it on tape, so I had the only fucking copy that anyone had.
I had the only copy of vinyl because I phoned up my local record shop where I got everything from on the Monday, and I was like, "Oh, mate, just checking. Have you got a copy of the NWA album? Because I'll come down today and grab it. Can you reserve me one?" And I remember the conversation. He was like, "You mean the one that just got banned?" I was like, "Oh, right. I didn't realise that, but do you have one?" And he went, "I've got one. If you come down the next half hour, it's yours." So I cycled down there.
Nice.
Got it. And again, I'm sure he charged me a ridiculous price for it. I probably paid 16, 17 quid. But I had it, and I taped it for all my mates, obviously.
Of course,
Yeah.
man. Of course. And the thing is, right, are we going to talk about this? Are we doing a special on this record?
No.
No, okay. Well, look, this record hasn't aged that well.
Right, sure.
There are moments on it that are fucking brilliant. I'm always into something.
That's a great tune.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And this we always have this conversation about always into something because that is a G-funk tune, and you always profess not to like G-funk.
Yep.
That is the proto G-funk. That's the template song for everything that Dre would do next.
Right, okay. That was his kind of experimenting. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Appetite for
Maybe so.
Destruction. Approach to Danger. That's
Approach to Danger is a good tune.
Final
Yeah.
Approach to Danger.
Yeah, absolutely. That's more like kind of the previous NWA stuff. More like the 100 Miles and Running NWA, at least, anyway.
But they were also they were trolling people.
They absolutely were. Oh, they were deliberately making this as foul as possible.
Yeah, I mean they'd lost their main lyricist.
Yeah, Cube was gone.
Cube was gone, and the second album, it definitely misses him.
It does. It's a very different record.
It misses the intent. I mean, which is weird because as we've discussed, the single, which has got Surprise Part 2 and 100 Miles and Running, those two tracks it looked like that was going to be the direction it was going to go in, but in the end, it was shock value, cartoony.
It was exactly. It was Eazy-E, talking about fucking hoes and pussy, 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 all this sort of stuff. It was just designed to make headlines, annoy parents, rile up Tipper Gore, and get that ban slapped on it, because then it sold fucking thousands and thousands of copies.
Exactly.
And so it did exactly what they meant it to do. It's not an enduring album, like you say. I would say I probably still enjoy more of it than you, maybe. I still enjoy at least half of it.
Look, I've got a big, thick belt of nostalgia from it.
Right, well, that's true.
And I'm trying to separate myself from that.
Gotcha,
right?
gotcha.
But I mean, like, objectively, you can't say the shit that we say about some of the records we listen to on this podcast and give that a straight up buy.
No.
for nostalgia's purposes.
Even though it is coming at you with a wink in its eye, going, "I know what I'm doing." You know, I know this is all ridiculous and over the top. It is definitely that, but it wasn't out and out funny at the time like that. It wasn't them nudging you in that direction. They were encouraging you to think that was the lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was brilliant when it
I loved
came
it.
out.
I played it to death.
Yeah, of course, I did as well, man. Like, don't drink that wine.
Brilliant. I mean, the skits on this I actually thought were funny because they were so over the top.
Even like a tune like "One Less Bitch to Worry About,"
Yeah.
right? Right?
And that is a ridiculous song.
I mean, but that's the thing. It's so cartoony. You would have to be an imbecile to take it seriously.
True. Yeah.
Right? You would have to be an absolute fucking idiot or a fucking very angry conservative to think that's what anyone meant, right? I don't believe anyone meant that.
No, not at all. But they have to protect the imbeciles of society.
Just to be very clear as well, I'm not arguing that it's an okay thing to say either.
No, sure. But it's an over-the-top ridiculous thing. But, you know, in the same way as, you know, some of the Frankie Boyle material from 2004 is stuff that was... You laughed at the time going, oh, this is so over-the-top ridiculous. And nowadays he wouldn't say that because he never meant it in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah, you take it at the time for an absolute cartoon stupidity.
Yeah.
And with a couple of good songs, a couple of good, you know, hooks on there. But yeah, it's a weird one.
The interesting thing about comedy and language is there's an enormous range of nuance that goes through it. And I feel like maybe we're forgetting that a little
it's
bit.
true.
Right? And look, I don't want to be some edgelord kind of free speech advocate. I'm not that argument is just as flawed as the other side of it. But people need to get off their fucking high horse about jokes.
Some stuff.
I mean, I really do. I really do. This kind of idea of aggrandizing yourself at somebody else's imperfection. It's like, you know, just kind of this kind of cancel culture kind of, we're pointing at you and saying we're better than you because we haven't said this thing.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of, it's going to come back and bite everyone.
Oh, I think it'll be a wave. Yeah, it's up and down. It's, you know.
Yeah, it'll be like Cersei when she thought she had underestimated the high sparrow, and realised that the power she'd unleashed would come back and be put upon her head, and she would be forced to walk through the city.
This from someone who just warned the listeners that, oh, it's about to get a bit nerdy when I was talking about my record collection.
Well, you don't watch Game of Thrones?
Of course I do.
Oh.
But I didn't quote it. You did.
I was doing it in a funny voice. Fucking hell, again, nuance,
like
mate.
Eazy-E.
Nuance.
Funny voice.
I'm not doing that voice. I'm not doing the voice.
Okay, well, look, those are the albums that were out this time period anyway.
Cool.
So there's some decent stuff.
Right,
there.
let's jump back into this.
Seal. All right, so track number 4 is his version of Killer.
Yeah.
I seem to remember you saying before that you weren't particularly into the original version of Killer at the time, were you?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't love it.
Oh, I see.
I didn't have a problem with it, but loads of people were like, "Oh, this is the best tune in the world," and it never was the best
like
tune
that
for me.
Okay, all right. Do you remember this version coming out?
Do you know what I do from a perspective of I kind of remember that there was another version.
I know it happened,
and I probably heard it, but I couldn't remember it.
No.
So it's quite interesting to listen back to it.
Okay.
A very different version.
Well, yes, it is, but I don't think it's different enough to warrant. Definitely not to warrant being a single.
Well, no, definitely not to warrant being a single, but we'll talk about the reasons for that.
Well, yeah,
later. But I kind of listening to this earlier, and like one of the things I should caveat this with, and I should have said this at the top of the podcast, is I didn't listen to this album as many times as I normally do.
Okay, sure, yeah. This was a bit of a rush one.
Yeah.
But it's a short album.
But I listened to this and I went, I might like this better than the original.
Really?
I might do. I need to hear it a few more times. But I listened to it and I went, I do like this take on it. I like the kind of big kind of industrial stabs in it.
Yeah. It's definitely more kind of rock in inverted commas than the previous version. They get more guitars and going on.
One or two things will happen when I listen to it over a couple more times. One, I'll get bored of the novelty.
All right, yeah.
And be like, oh no, it's just a bit heavy-handed. I don't care for it.
Yeah.
Or the other one, I'd be like, oh no, actually, I prefer the tone of this.
Oh, okay.
I did enjoy it listening to it though. I didn't love the kind of the heavy house breakdown that came through.
Sure. Yeah.
But
It was weird.
I mean, I would imagine if there's one thing to say about this song, I would imagine we've both got it written down. I've just written it's just much too long again.
Oh, I see. I hadn't noticed it on this, but no, fucking hell, I'm looking at it. Jesus Christ.
Look, the Adamski version.
6 minutes 20.
The Adamski version of this song is 4 minutes 13.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it doesn't need to be any longer than that.
No, God, that's weird because maybe it's because I had some sort of, I knew this before, but listening to it again whenever I did today, I didn't even notice it was 6 minutes 20. I was like, it washed over me a bit.
It felt like 6 minutes 20 to me.
Right, I see. No, you're absolutely right. There's no need for that.
No.
But I don't understand. Okay, I mean, let's say I don't understand why he's released this as a single. I think that is self-indulgent, and I think the previous version was only a year ago, and it was a massive hit.
Okay, well, I tell you, there's a couple of reasons for it, I would imagine, right?
Yep.
First of all, I would imagine it's a record company decision.
Sure.
Okay.
That would make sense.
And I would imagine that what it is they're going, oh, you like this song? Well, if you want to buy the album, it's a different version of this song, and this is a different. This isn't the dance music guy.
Okay, sure.
This isn't. You're not just going to get that kind of drug dancey stuff. This is a more mature sound.
Right. Okay. Sure.
So I reckon that's part of it. But the main reason this is a single is because without blowing the rest of the album, there are no other fucking singles on this record.
Right.
You could maybe kind of pass one of the slower acoustic ones as something.
They did
as a third single. Was there a third single?
Mate, this was the fourth single.
Fuck off.
No,
what were the other two singles?
It was Crazy was number one. Future Love Paradise was the second one.
Right.
Which sounds more like Crazy.
Okay.
The third one is The Beginning, which was the first track.
They released that as a fucking single?
Third single.
What did that do?
It got to number 24.
Fuck off.
I know. I don't understand. I don't remember it at all.
That is some momentum that's got that record up there, man.
Absolutely. Well, I suppose, it was released in July 91, and this was number one still at mid-June, so it absolutely is momentum, like you say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, Killer was released November 91, so it was after the album.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, in that case, you just go, okay. There's still shifting units. So
yeah, it's just to keep it going.
We want to stick another thing.
But there was a fifth single in 1992, which is one we haven't even come to yet. But yeah, you're right that this is the only other one that they could in terms of a big pop song.
I'm amazed that this wasn't the second single.
Right. Okay. Now the second one, like I say, Future Love Paradise. But I can see. I suspect he was unhappy with the way the first one went, that he wasn't credited, right? Because it was basically credited as Adamski. It wasn't always Adamski featuring Seal.
He was a co-writer.
Yeah, exactly. Adamski had the tune, and he said to Seal, "Can you do some lyrics?" Seal wrote all the lyrics and sang the lyrics, so it's definitely a co-write. That's fine. And so I suspect there's some sort of aggrieved desire to be recognised for that.
He's kind of he's pissing on the tree stump.
Yeah, I imagine there's some of that. Is like, okay, well, no, this is actually my song too. This is Seal Killer. Yeah, Seal Killer. But
Eskimo.
Yes,
cut that
out. But I don't understand why you would go. Yeah, let's make a big deal. I'd say if you want to put it on the album, do your version of it, fine. But I don't see it as a single.
Well, I mean, what did the re-release do as a single?
This version got to number 8.
Well, there you go. He did the right thing, didn't he?
We're wrong. I know.
I don't need the same song released twice as a consumer.
No.
Particularly as a teenage boy, that makes me feel weird.
Okay.
Right, but I mean, it's not different enough. I think you are right in many ways. But it's a decent enough version of the song. It sits nicely on the album. It deserves its place on this album.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I do think that. I think he's right to do a version for himself on his debut album because it's a great tune. That's the thing. I loved the Adamski version. I think it's brilliant. And so you can't fault it for being a good song. And so putting his stamp on it, going, here's what I would have done with it, get it, no problems. But I don't know. It just feels weird to me because it sounds to me, because I liked the first one so much, it sounds to me like, a bit of a pub band covering a dance song. Not in a bad way, a good pub band, but it's like this is what this song sounds like with guitars, and I don't see the need for it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, tracks 5.
Track 5.
Tracks 5.
Right, this one is Whirlpool.
We're back in acoustic land.
Uh-huh.
He has a pleasing voice.
And this is, you cannot deny he's got a good voice. He does. He's got a good soulful voice for when it works.
But so does Alita Adams.
Well, yeah.
And look, lyrically, it's about kind of self-conflict around love and, kind of commitment.
Okay.
By the looks of things. But
this bit sounds like Proto Kiss from a Rose to me as well.
yeah.
That the way he's phrased that, the way that melody is.
Yeah, you can definitely see one comes from the other.
Yeah. This is one of the shorter songs. It's only 4 minutes long. But
I mean,
what?
It's inoffensive, but it doesn't really do anything for me. It's boring.
No, exactly. It's inoffensive, you're absolutely right, but the flip side of that is it's bland because it doesn't do anything. It doesn't make you want to be invested in it.
Yeah.
And whenever I listen to these albums, what I often do is, at some point I'll sit down and I'll listen to it and I'll look at the lyrics and I'll write notes. But also, whenever I go into my work, I do... I open my pub one day a week and I close the rest. But the one day I open, I'm there by myself for a couple of hours, and I put whatever album we're about to do on the stereo, and I'm doing whatever I need to do, and it's in the background.
Yep.
And this is kind of just washing over me, and sometimes I'm cutting in and out, but at least I'm getting the flavour, yeah? This one I had on this week, and it got to this song, and this was on, and the person who was coming in to help me out to open came in, and I was embarrassed.
I can imagine.
And I had to go, I've not put this on for me, by the way. I just need you to know that I'm not listening to this for fun.
Yeah.
This is for, a project. Exactly. Because I was like, oh, God, if someone thinks this is what I'm into, they're going to hate
and
me.
People know some of the shit that you're into.
And some of that, exactly. And, I'm okay with them knowing those things, but I wouldn't want them tarring me with this brush.
I mean, I can smell those things.
I would not want to be known as... Christer, he likes that Whirlpool song by Seal.
Yeah, he is awful, mate.
I know.
Absolutely awful.
Yeah.
So, let's move on.
No, I didn't like that at all.
Next track is, we just mentioned it, Future Love Paradise.
Track number 6.
But if only you could see them, you would know from their faces there were kings and queens, followed by princes and princesses. There were future power people throwing love to the loveless, shining a light cause they wanted it seen. Well, there were cries of why, followed by cries.
He does love a layered vocal, doesn't he?
Oh, he does, yeah.
Reach out for you.
And it's, this is better so far.
Yes.
And the riders,
Yeah. I think this is a decent chorus. That little hook there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not either the other song. It's not either Crazy or Killer.
It's not as good, no. I would say I prefer this to his version of Killer, but I don't like it as much as Crazy.
Oh no, I don't think it's anywhere near as good as his version of Killer.
Really, I do.
Oh god, no. But and by
Right.
big drop.
Yeah. I think this is alright.
See, I just don't think a little kind of house piano. I don't think this is the right way for this song to have gone. That kind of explosion. You got little kind of the housey kind of bits. It's all quite bright.
Oh, see, I don't hear the house in this.
There's a piano in the background.
Yeah, but that's not my impression of it. That's not what I'm.
Right. See,
I'm just a big chorus. No, fair enough. I think this is all right. I remember liking this at the time as well, which is probably another reason that I'm okay with it.
Right, okay. I mean, look, I think that kind of caller responsey kind of breakdowns is quite funky.
Sure.
I put here, look, this is a perfectly pleasant track that just doesn't do that much.
Okay. All right, I think it does. I think it... And actually, how long is this one? This is another 4 minutes. I think this puts a lot into the 4 minutes, and it does enough for me as a solid pop song.
This is an album track for me. It's not a single.
All right.
There's not enough of a, there's not enough of a hook into the main chorus.
Yeah.
For me.
Oh, see, this is one of the ones, and I bet you it's because it was obviously a single at the time, and I remember it well. Mm-hmm. If you said to me, "Can you still sing that chorus?" I would have been able to do it.
See, I wouldn't. I'm fairly sure I've never heard this before.
Oh, I see. Right. I mean, it was released it was a single, but it was on the Future Love EP. But it was still played a load on the radio. Yeah, it was still around the place, and it's got a video and all that shit. I'll tell you, actually, just video in terms of whenever we said at the top about all the Brit Awards, and Killer won a video for Best British Video. Yeah, I watched it again today, going, oh fuck, don't remember it. It's dreadful.
Is it really like blue screen?
Yeah. Oh, it's it's blue screen, and you know those kind of transitions that Top of the Pops used to have, where the words would condense into a ball and go off screen. It's that. It's fucking dreadful. Yeah. None of the videos. Actually, the one for Crazy is okay. This one is no good, and Killer's terrible. But I remember this fondly, and there's more drug references in here as well. There's because it seems to be about the older generation versus the younger generation, and the older generation are trying to hold on to power and keep the rules as they are, so that the young can't have fun. And it has these characters, the riders.
Yeah, like the cops, right?
The cops, exactly. And they are down on everything. And there's a bit in there about the riders don't want you to have drugs, suppress the drugs. And it predicts that, in one day, a future love paradise, when the young generation are in power, that everyone will be taking ecstasy, and it's going to be fucking brilliant.
How's that worked out?
Well, yeah, Brexit.
Michael Gove.
So it's a nice sentiment, and it's the optimism is right up there, unrealistically. So I think this is all right.
You've not sold me.
No, fine. I don't think I will. I think it's just got a big old chorus and a good hook.
I just don't see it as a big chorus.
Future love paradise,
mate. Like if Prince had fucking farted that, he'd have thrown it away. Do you know what I mean? He's
or kept it in a vault and then released it.
No, well, his family would have released
it. Okay, well that's number 6 anyway. So we're 2/3 of the way through, and so where are you so far? In how many out of how many?
I'm 2 for 5 at the minute.
2 for 6.
Was that 6?
That's track 6. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have just done 6. So I'm 2 for 6. Yeah, fuck
2
me.
for 6. But your 2 would be Killer and Crazy.
Yeah,
right. I'm 2 for 6, but mine would probably be Future Love Paradise and Crazy, because I just have issues with Killer. But okay, 2 for 6.
I mean,
I think it's a great tune, but I've no interest in his version because I really like the original.
Okay,
let's take another break and go into the top 10 singles of this week. So again, I have gone for the week of June 2nd to the 8th, which it's right in the middle of when this was number 1. Number 10 is The Doors with Light My Fire, 91. I don't even remember that getting a re-release.
Oh, I mean, movie just come out, hadn't it?
Oh, right. Yeah, that'll be it. Exactly it. Okay. Number 9, KLS Last Train in Trans Central.
Yeah.
8, REM Shiny Happy People.
Yeah. 7,
Soft Cell, Tainted Love, because we've seen the Greatest Hits is in the album charts.
Right, okay.
6 is Kylie, Shocked, which I thought I remembered.
Shocked, yeah.
And then I didn't whenever I played it to myself.
It's kind of one of the later Stock Aitken and Waterman ones,
there's definitely
it?
that sound to it, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think I vaguely remember it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I whenever I listened to it, I didn't like it. I didn't think it was one of her better ones at all.
I don't really like any of that Stock Aitken and Waterman stuff really anymore. Hardly any of that stuff.
Fair enough.
Well.
Number 5, and I remember fucking hating this at the time, and it was everywhere. You couldn't get away from it. I hate this.
Oh yeah, this fucking La da dee da da da. Gypsy Woman.
Gypsy Woman.
Yeah.
By, remember who's by?
Gypsy Woman by.
She wakes up early every morning.
Oh, hang on. Crystal Waters.
Crystal Waters.
Because she can.
Fucking hate this song
Yeah,
so
I
much.
hate that as well.
I remember at the time, people were like all over it. It's tuneless bollocks.
This is one of the start of those kind of big kind of commercial house tracks that, like, when I was at university,
Yeah.
that's kind of what the discos would be.
Oh, right, I see.
All that fucking commercial vocal house.
Stuff like Gala, Free Drum Desire, and that
mate.
nonsense. Yeah. Just awful.
You know, for a long time, because of that stuff, I'd have told you I hated house music.
Well, sure, because that's what you associated
Yeah.
with the term. Yeah. Well, she's got a lot to fucking answer for, Crystal Waters, in this song.
Mate,
Awful.
dog shit.
'Cause
Dog
it was
shit.
everywhere. Number 4, and we have already mentioned her, but I'd forgotten this existed until, like, coming back to it. But now I remember this was everywhere forever as well.
You light up another cigarette and I pour the
Yeah, Beverly Craven. I admit, I actually like this.
in the morning.
This is a good power ballady
Do
tune.
you know what I remember that lyric for? Do you remember, like, when we used to live together in our big house, we had that massive, like, kind of printout of lyrics pre-internet, so we couldn't Google the lyrics.
Yeah,
were.
and you had to try and 200 of the
Yeah,
fuckers. Yeah,
that was one of them.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, see, we spent weeks agonising over that as well.
Yeah, we did.
Right, so that's number 4, Beverly Craven with "Promise Me." Number 3, and I really like this tune, and this is utter pop.
You've got a
trash.
look.
You're gonna like this.
You got a look in your face of, like, I might be ashamed of this.
Oh, we probably should be,
Right.
but I bet you like this too.
Oh, I bet I do.
Proper US pop fluff. This is.
Baby, baby, I'm taken with the notion to love you with the sweetest of devotion. Baby, baby,
It's proper. It's a one-hit wonder, and it is just her name, yeah. "Baby Baby" by.
Not Shanice. That was
No.
Smile.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, no, go on.
Amy Grant.
Oh, go on in.
Yeah, Amy Grant. I really like that. And there's a lovely little key change in it as well at the end. It's a proper pop nonsense, but it's fun. I like that. Then number 2 is Cher with the Shoop Shoop song. Number 1, and this is this is not a good song, and I can't say I like it at all, but I remember it very, very well.
Stop.
Tick-tock, you don't stop.
Colour Me Bad. I Want to Sex You Up.
Yeah, mate.
From the New Jack City soundtrack.
Oh, was it? Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. This was all over the place. This is the sound of the summer. This was 1991.
I mean, this is a very risible song.
Sure. And the name of the band, "Colour Me Bad," that's terrible with 2 D's,
I mean, it's awful.
Yeah.
It's very 1991,
isn't
though.
it? Yeah, exactly. It's like the swing beat New Kids.
That's exactly what they were trying to be. You know?
So that's the top 10. In terms of other stuff that's out, there's a few. There's a couple. This one won't mean anything to you, but Populated itself, 92 Degrees, was one of the singles that they had out at the minute. I fucking love this. It's got to number 23, which is decent, I think. I'm tempted to go and see them play in December as well, because I'm that kind of dickhead these days. At number 34, I've got it queued up, but Little Angels with "Young Gods." Do you remember that at all? Young Gods?
I don't remember the song. I mean,
No, I never got the band, really. I obviously, they've got a couple of catchy tunes, but they don't need the career they've had. You don't need to have that many albums of Little Angels, do you? No. But, right, number 60, peaked at number 60.
Oh, I know what this is.
I mean, you should know the band straight away, but the name of the song is a toughie.
Sorry, I know this well. Hang on.
Yes. Oh, you really do. That's the thing.
It's Jane's Addiction, Classic Girl.
Yes, it is, mate.
I just couldn't find that for a second.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Got number 60 on a single release.
It's a fucking brilliant song.
So I didn't even remember it being a single. Couldn't have told you that.
Yeah, it's video. It's
there you go.
Really long. It's one of the longest singles I remember seeing. It's 6 minutes long or something.
Yeah. So that was there. Planet of Sound by the Pixies got to number 27 at some point in here. The Senseless Things at number 73. That's the first time I remember seeing the Senseless Things. But the only other one I saw, and I really like this one, Primal Scream with Higher Than the Sun. Mm-hmm. And this is it's possibly my favourite Primal Scream song.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this is a real... This is a drug den sounding song.
This is on Screamadelica, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Screamadelica was released later this year. This was one of the preceding singles. But this is just dark and foreboding and slow paced. It's brilliant. But when the beat kicks in, it's a big smacking beat over this big dubby bass. So it's wicked anyway. It goes on and on because it's a hugely long song. But this one got to number 40.
Cool.
During good? This time. Yeah, no, it's a great tune. Great tune. There's also various remixes by like The Orb or Ja Wobble or Andy Weatherall, which are about 8 minutes long. No,
that's because that's in the day you could release 2 CD singles.
Well, precisely. Yeah, precisely. But there you go. That's your singles for May into June of 1991.
Great, man.
Cool. But shall we finish off this Seal album then, yeah?
Let's do it, mate, yeah.
So track 7...
Let's seal the deal.
Oh, nice. Track 7 is called Wild. It's different again.
Yeah,
different
kind of interesting, kind of moody intro. Obviously, that drum beat, drum machine sounds very dated now, and I suspect it would have sounded dated at the time.
Possibly. I don't like that synth sound. I just was on that. Don't like the feel of that.
I kind of do.
Yeah. Again, I think his voice is good on this one. I think it's a good example of his vocals.
I think like this sparse stripped down stuff, I feel like they thought the vocal was going to carry this song, right?
Okay.
But I don't think the vocal is good enough to do that. I think it's decent. I think you're right. It is a good example. But
yeah. Oh, no, I don't think it works well enough that it's a good song.
No.
I think his voice is the only good thing on here.
I don't mind the way it starts off, but then it does get very kind of rambling and jazzy.
It really does go into jazz territory.
Yeah.
In a way that, fair enough, I don't like jazz, but I particularly don't like this sort of really insipid jazz.
Nah. Is it 5:30, this one?
Yeah. And no need.
Again, it's just,
The second half is just bollocks. It's like the band noodling around the place, him doing nothing.
It feels like a sketch rather than a drawing,
Yeah, don't get this one at all.
No.
It's okay if he's looking to showcase a different side of Seal, if that's what it is, and this is his, like you say, his jazzier side, or the kind of the acid jazz that was coming through. Maybe Trevor Horn was trying to get a little bit of that going on, but this is an instantly forgettable song. There's nothing at all to it. It's flimsy, and I think it's just simperingly weak.
Yeah, I mean, again, like trying to be as constructive as I can.
Yeah.
There are moments, there are bits and pieces, as with most of these songs, there are moments and bits within them that I'm like, oh, that's nice, and that's nice, and that's nice. But not holding together as songs.
No, not as a whole piece.
I'm not coming out there saying Trevor Horn and Seal have got no musical ability. I believe they absolutely have.
Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, the man was in Art of Noise.
Yeah,
but he knows music.
But it all just feels a bit unfinished, a lot of it.
Right.
Or over-finished.
Yeah. I think it's one of those ones where, for example, if you paint something and you go, I'm not quite happy with that, you paint it a little bit more over the top, and you're not quite happy with that, do a bit more, and you end up with just a mud brown.
Yeah, that's what they called Chinese Democracy by Guns N' Roses.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, have you ever heard that record?
No.
I mean, that is a record, more overdubs than people in this world.
Yeah, I don't know enough about that to comment, I must admit, but this song that I had to listen to today, I think is crack. I think
Rubbish,
it's
mate.
absolute crack.
Right, let's do the next one then.
Right.
This is track number 8. It's called Show Me. Another slow starter.
Another slow starter, another 6-minute song.
So look, this is another meandering kind of semi-ambient dinner jazz
This is muso
journey,
wank.
right?
Yeah.
And I've made a note here that says these journeys would be a lot more fun if they were shorter.
Yeah,
Yes,
really would.
you know, I mean, there is no excuse for this being 6 minutes 30. I've just got too long written in capital letters.
Oh, definitely.
This is, you know, there are moments in here where it feels like he wants to have a bit of a Prince vibe to it, like kind of
Okay.
particularly a la Purple Rain.
Yeah.
Kind of, bits in that I feel I get that. There's a hilarious bit where he's singing "Oh Lady," but what it sounds like is "Old Lady."
That was stroll on, old lady.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I've just got very little to say about this. It's too long. It's without purpose. It doesn't
Yeah.
showcase anyone's talents to their fullest. It's a waste of 6.5 minutes of your life, really.
It is. The sentiment behind it, I think, is fine. It's him going. it's him going. Show me how to help you. Show me how I can make your life better. It's a nice thing to say, but the way that the whole feel of it is just smug and cheesy to me. I think it's something you go, oh mate, stop, just stop. What you
See,
doing?
I haven't made enough notes to remember what any of it's about.
Right,
and that tells you how anonymous it is.
Well, exactly. Anonymous is another one on this one. There's nothing going on, and you will never, ever be able to remember this.
No.
There are bits in it where there's a bit of kind of muso wanking going on, like I say, and I can picture them in the studio, eyes closed, really feeling, what they're doing. They're really into it. But it's boring shit.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on that anybody wants to hear about.
No, it's rubbish, mate.
It's rubbish. Right.
Anyway, last track.
Right, so last track is...
Nice short one.
It's no, funnily enough. No. This was the 5th single.
Go fuck yourself.
Absolutely, what the hell? Right, this is called Violet.
Yeah, and it's how long, Krista?
8.5 minutes.
Really?
Well, what this album has been lacking is 8-minute songs.
Right. Stop playing it. We don't need to hear it.
No.
Right? Look.
Oh, God, it's awful.
Look, this is noises and talking, fucking insipid fucking electric dance jazz.
Yeah.
And it's just the most incredibly self-indulgent thing you can do. 50-minute album, and you're giving yourself an 8.5 minute
Yep.
outro track, right?
Yep.
Look.
Which isn't even a song.
No. Look, right, either Seal was trying to set himself up as like the Bill Laswell of whatever the fuck he's
this
doing,
pop
right?
soul. Yeah.
Or, and I'm going to posit this, he had a really big single, and they really wanted an album out,
Yeah.
so they cobbled this load of bollocks together that didn't have any songs on it.
Yeah. Like Trevor Horn was like, well, I've got this Art of Noise 8-minute song that we never released because it was a bit dull.
Yeah.
You don't just sing something on top of that? Yeah.
This is, this is critically acclaimed. This is Emperor's New Clothes.
This is one of the worst things I've ever heard. This is fucking dreadful.
Well, this particular song or that album.
Oh, the album I think is crap.
No, the single, the last song is absolute dog shit. I'm going to give it no further. Let's talk about the album as a whole.
Just one thing I
Have you
will
got
say.
something
No,
else
just
for this?
weirdly, and I was like, fucking, how is this a single? I looked it up on YouTube. There's not a video for it. Because obviously the record company must have gone, it's not going to get played on TV. But I watched just one upload of it, the one with the most comments, and I looked at the comments, and tell you what, people are fucking loving this. I don't understand. They're going, the man's a genius. I remember, watching a sunset to this when I was 20 in 1991. Oh, this is what music should be like. I cannot understand how we listen to the same thing.
Emperor's New Clothes.
Yeah, it's awful. Awful.
You know, if that man was watching a sunset, he'd probably taken a lot of ecstasy.
Well, yeah, it's got to be.
You know,
Got to be drugs.
Look, man.
Okay, but yes, no, you're right. Let's leave that song.
So look, this to me as an album,
Yeah.
as I say, it feels like it's not ready. It's
absolutely not ready.
It's not ready.
There are 9 songs on it. 6 of them aren't songs.
Right. If I'd have bought this album at the time,
Yeah.
expecting an album full of killers and crazies,
Yeah.
and I found this, I would have been very upset.
Yeah. I imagine so. I don't know how it won all the awards.
I mean, I have no idea. Look, this is, for me, like, when it's good, it's really good. Right? When it's good, it's really good. But for me, it's only really good in 2 plays. 2 tracks out of 9. Right?
Sure, yeah.
Which, to be fair, on a 9-track album is a relatively okay, passable hit rate. I mean, but look, it's not good. It's not a good album. It's a delivery device for 2 singles, one of which there is arguably a better version of.
Right, sure.
I mean, I'm not ready to have that argument yet. But for me, like, it's an album that has mistaken disjointedness and a lack of cohesiveness for eclecticism.
Right, art.
Yeah, and it's sketches. It's sketches and not finished songs. And and when held in relief to something like Crazy, it just goes, oh no, this is the Emperor is Naked. This is bollocks.
Totally. Yeah, I don't get. I kind of see a little bit of hype around it because you're getting ready off the back of a couple of singles, and Seal is an imposing figure and he looks great. And he's got all the image stuff.
Yeah, he's a rock star. Yeah,
he's an absolute rock star, and he's got a great voice. But yeah, whenever you put this album on, having only heard singles, it's like, oh well, I feel someone's played a prank on me here.
But the thing is, we are entering the era of like uber hype as well. Let's not forget that.
Right, sure.
We are at a point here where record companies did genuinely believe, and were proved right again and again, that if you produced something and it had the right image and everything else around it,
it would sell.
You could still knock it out there and make it profitable.
I see. Okay.
Right.
Well, they were proved entirely right about this one.
Yeah, and
3.5 million copies.
There's part of me, the rational part of me, is going, well, somehow you and me must be wrong.
Well, yes, of course. And I would say we're not the target audience, but who's the target audience for this? Who's the target audience for your fucking Violet or Whirlpool?
Well, see, this is the thing. Is like with a Westlife album, right, I can go, oh, that's terrible music.
Yep.
But I know why people like it.
Sure. And it's not for me, and it's never supposed to be.
I can hear the stuff, and it's too, and then with something like kind of Aphex Twin, right?
Okay.
A lot of that is kind of Emperor's New Clothes to me as well.
Same as.
But I can also, when I dig in and I go, oh, right, okay, I get that if you're getting this, then you're probably getting this as well. It's
right.
It's not there for me. In the same way that I'll listen to technical death metal or something like along those lines, right? Yeah. I'll know that, a lot of people won't enjoy this. But I can't look at these songs and go, like even with the Alita Adams album, right?
Sure, yeah.
Right? I know what she was going for, and I kind of know why people, I think they're wrong.
Okay,
right?
But
for
you know
it.
that
But
they exist in
this. I don't really get
Yeah.
what you like about it. It's just it's just halfway in.
Yeah.
And half. Anyway, I'm a bit bamboozled by this one, to be honest with you.
Right. And this is the thing. It was not like it was a number one for 1 week and then fucked off. It was 3 weeks at number one.
Yeah.
And sold 3.5 million copies and kickstarted his huge career.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it, man. I don't know. What song are you putting on?
Crazy.
Of course it is. Right. That's that.
That's that.
There's no way that we're going to do more than that. It's Crazy. It's going on to our ongoing playlist.
Yep.
I will never listen to this album again.
Oh God, no.
And I don't understand why it was so popular. Don't get it.
It's a strange set of events, man. But you know what? As is to try and figure it out in this kind of.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, we've failed on figuring it out. We've done the duty. We've done our research and our background. We've listened to it. But
felt like a slog, this one, didn't it?
It really did, yeah.
But I mean, look, I'm not as down on this as I am on some of the other albums.
Okay.
I'm not. I think there were moments of this. My main concern with it is it's just incomplete.
Right.
My incredulity is about the popularity.
I'm disappointed with it because I thought I might be getting something from a Seal album.
I must admit, I was thought, this. I wasn't.
Maybe there's going to be 3 or 4 other ones that I've never heard before that I'm going to actually really like.
Yeah, I wasn't fearing this one. I mean,
no.
I think the thing I'm most upset about is that I like the Chris Rea album more than this one.
God. Indeed, yeah. There's more on that for you.
What does that say about me? Anyway, look, right, guys, thank you for joining us. As always, please get in touch on social media. Let us know what you thought of this podcast. If you're a massive Seal fan, perhaps you're one of the people that really got this, let us know what went on.
That'll do us for this one, I think. We are back next week.
We are.
Listening to Share.
Good.
Yeah.
No, I'm not slagging it off already. There's some really great Cher songs. I hope they're all on this record.
Okay, let's find out. We'll see you next week.
Shoop.
Yeah. All right, thanks for listening, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Thank you for checking out this episode of Pop Collaborate and Listen. It was produced and edited by us, for which we can only apologise. We're on Twitter at PCL Podcast, on Instagram also at PCL Podcast, and Facebook.com/PCL Podcast. All of these, plus links to our various Spotify playlists, etc., are on our website, which is PCLpodcast.com. Please feel free to get in contact via any of the social media or on PCLmusicpodcast@gmail.com.